away from the very first and really only vice presidential debate.
And joining us now to talk about it is debate coach Matthew Dupuis. He's from Northern Illinois University. Thanks so much for joining us, Professor.
Thanks for having me tonight.
Let's talk a little bit about it. And I talked earlier to our political analyst and political reporter about it, but the vice presidential debate is usually not very consequential. You know, we look at it and we move on, but now it's a little bit different. It's a little more important because these folks could be the second in command. We've got a 77-year-old man running for president and a 74-year-old president who has COVID.
Yes, historically, the vice presidential debates are markedly much lower viewership events. They usually don't have a large impact and don't sway the needles when it comes to undecided voters, but tonight that might be different. Both Pence and Harris stand to actually step into those roles potentially based on Trump and Biden's health. Not only that, Pence has taken a much more forward position in the Trump campaign with Trump's diagnosis of COVID, and Pence has shown that he can handle those roles and those positions and that responsibility. But tonight's going to be that first real test if he can step into those shoes.
Let me ask you, who do you think has the more difficult task? Who's got the harder job? Is it Harris, who's got to find a way to keep the momentum going, or is it Pence, who now has to sort of do, as many people have described it, a little bit of damage control, given the vitriolic state of debate that we saw here among the presidential candidates?
Yeah, unfortunately, that first debate definitely set an interesting precedent for us to have to navigate for the vice presidential debate. I do think Harris has got the taller mountain to climb tonight. Harris has to go on the attack, but has to do it while remaining civil. She is perfectly equipped to take the Trump administration to task with her years of experience as an attorney and her litigation experience. But we can't forget that Pence knows how to work a camera. Pence has got plenty of experience on radio and television. He's got more experience than Harris in this environment.
Okay, that's a good point. And I don't want to interrupt you, but I'm interrupting you. It's a good point. Because she's a woman, you said she has to remain civil. Why do women have to remain civil? Why can't, you know, Donald Trump didn't remain civil. A lot of people don't remain civil. You didn't say Pence has to remain civil. Why does Kamala Harris, because she's a woman, an African-American woman, have to remain civil?
Yes, you put up an excellent point, Micah. Thank you. There is a bias in the world of debate that disadvantages women. The same things that come out of Trump's mouth, that could come out of Biden's mouth, that come out of Pence's mouth, are going to be under an extra critical lens if they come out of Harris. It's an unfortunate reality and a double standard that when women come to the debate stage with aggression, with that power, because Harris is a powerful speaker, they are concerned and viewed as aggressive.
Yes.
And some other adjectives that aren't as savory. It's an unfortunate reality that women in the world of debate have had to deal with for a very long time. And I do think Harris will take some of those stages. She will try to land punches tonight.
Yeah, Hillary Clinton had a problem with that as well during her debate performances.
Yes, indeed.
Matt, let's talk a little bit about the topics here. The Supreme Court appointment, the COVID relief package that has been shelved for now here. Where do you think the topics will go, being very much cognizant that the president's health is going to be front and center as well?
Yes, I think COVID is probably going to dominate the debate tonight. I think Pence's main job tonight is going to be parading the accomplishments of the Trump administration. He's probably going to toe the line like he's done for the last 4 years. He's been a very supportive member of the Trump administration, and he does do a good job of highlighting the good that the administration has been able to do. But at the end of the day, I don't know that that will be enough to sway any voters. I think Harris is poised to maybe make a larger impact on the stage tonight, which excites me.
And you've made the points that they're both excellent debaters. They both are good in front of the camera. Who do you think may come out on top tonight?
I think Harris has got a bigger margin for victory. I think Pence's only job is to get in there and not make a mess of the situation, show that there is a level-headed counterpart and component to the Trump administration. While as Harris does, like I said, have the opportunity to sway some votes tonight. It's a bigger challenge, but if she rises to that challenge, I think this could be a good night for the Biden-Harris ticket.
All right, debate coach Matthew Dupuis of Northern Illinois. Be safe, be well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.